Welcome to Vsb News Online for Wednesday, April the 1st. I'm Peter Cattell. Happy April Fool's Day. I'm Charles Webb. Bermuda has suffered its third road fatality of the year to date, and once again it involves a young motorcyclist who died after colliding with another vehicle. Vsb News' Brian Darby has the details.
The Bermuda police have confirmed the death of 16-year-old Arai Joel Johnson of Paget, who was fatally injured around 11:10 last night on Harbour Road, just west of the junction with Chapel Road. His auxiliary cycle was in collision with a car, and he was subsequently pronounced dead at the King Edward Hospital shortly before midnight. A family liaison officer has been assigned by the police to his family to assist them throughout this difficult time, and a full investigation is ongoing. The investigating officer, Constable David Ward, is urging any witnesses to the fatal collision that have not already come forward to contact him at the Roads Policing Unit at 247-1230 or via his email dward@bps.bm. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
Premier Michael Dunkley has welcomed the people of Bermuda to the landmark public access to information process, which came into law today. And at the same time, he has launched his own social media blitz to keep the community informed about his comings and goings.
This landmark legislation is legislation that this government championed, and so we are obviously pleased and delighted to see that it has come into fruition today. We know that there will be some teething challenges in the initial few days as people understand how the system works and how to access information, but we have every confidence in the civil service to do the appropriate thing and make sure the information is disseminated in an appropriate manner. And in keeping with today's theme of transparency and openness, I am equally pleased today to announce the launch of the Premier of Bermuda's webpage. The page can be found at www.premier.gov.bm. You will recall that when I first became Premier in May of last year, I made it a point to let the public know that I wanted to ensure that as much as possible I would be accessible in the office of the Premier, and people were kept up to date on a regular basis with all of my activities. Hence, the aim of the webpage is to provide an opportunity for people to follow the progress of the Premier, the government, and in particular the Cabinet Office and the Ministry of National Security, of which I have responsibility for. Visitors to the page will be able to review the Premier's ministerial statements, press releases, press statements, national addresses, and special messages and greetings. There are links to other departments within government as well. Some of you might be aware that I am also very active on social media. And in this regard, the web page is linked to all of my social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. In an age where everything is becoming more and more digital, and people, of course, have unlimited access to technology, I think this is a very efficient way of ensuring that all our residents are kept abreast of what their Premier is doing on behalf of the people of Bermuda.
The death of Carol Hill has brought to mind the role of the Sunshine League as featured in her book, Rays of Hope. The King Street building today houses a transitional living program offering young men a pathway to independence. In this, the first of a two-part interview, Executive Director Glenn Ferris outlined the League's position as a ray of hope to challenged young men.
The goal of the program is to take them from being a dependent member of society to an independent, healthy, and productive member of Bermuda society by giving them by assisting them with education, by assisting them with employment, and by most of all offering them options that they may otherwise not see. And if you have no options that you're looking at, it's very hard to motivate yourself. So we provide them with options.
Now, how do they get into the program? Is it by the courts or is it voluntarily?
There's many different ways that they can be referred. We do have some referrals through court services for young men that have had troubles with the law. We have referrals from other helping agencies. So, for example, Department of Child and Family Services may refer people to us. We've had some referrals from the counselors at Bermuda College. And we can also have referrals from private individuals. So if a family member sees a young man having struggles, they can refer him, or a friend, or the young man can refer himself as well.
Now, are they considered in custody, or can they come and go as they wish?
They can come and go as they wish. This is based on a lot of the programs that they now have in larger jurisdictions like Canada and the UK and the US, which are for children who are aging out of foster care, because in those jurisdictions, once you hit 18, you're out of the system. And they've had all kinds of troubles with homelessness and prostitution and drug abuse and lack of education and lack of employment among that population. So this is similar as a model to those kinds of programs, and it's what we call a shared housing model. So each individual has their own private space and their own bathroom, but they share the kitchen and the common spaces like the living area and the dining area.
So they're quite independent.
They are quite independent. We don't have a lot of staff here. There's just myself and Amatullah Bashir, who's the administrative coordinator. We don't have a cook. We don't have anybody who looks after them or does their laundry. They're expected to start taking on some of these roles and responsibilities themselves, because that's all a part of becoming an independent adult.
Tomorrow, Administrative Coordinator Amatullah Bashir highlights the importance of private contribution and corporate giving to the program's success. Evidence that the America's Cup is not set in concrete came last night when the 6 competitors voted to accept a new class which will race for the Cup in Bermuda in 2017. Vsb sports editor Earl Baisden provides this update.
In what could be considered a major plus for Bermuda, the America's Cup teams have agreed to make changes aimed at significantly reducing cost of the 2017 America's Cup. Central to these changes is the introduction of an exciting new America's Cup class, a wing-sailed foiling catamaran between 45 and 50 feet. The move to the new America's Cup class is a major step forward for the America's Cup, said Commercial Commissioner Harvey Schiller following the vote. Majority of the teams has also now indicated a preference that all of the racing in 27 be conducted in one single venue, that being Bermuda. The America's Cup Event Authority will consider this in nominating a venue for the America's Cup qualifiers. Collectively, the teams have agreed current costs are neither justified nor sustainable, and a majority have together taken a sensible course of action to cut the cost. I believe this puts the America's Cup on a firm foundation today and for the future, continued Schiller. Crucially, the new class will cost much lesser over the life of a campaign. The potential savings across design, build, and operations makes it a revolutionary cost-saving measure for the sport in both the short and long terms. The changes being made are to reduce the current cost and complexity, which are barriers to new teams wishing to enter the America's Cup, said Ian Percy, the team manager of Emeritus Racing. A majority of the current teams favor the new class, with the expectations it will be used in the next edition of the America's Cup as well, in order to lower the barrier to entry, both technological and financial, to new teams. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for Vsb News.
An Alcohol Awareness Month opened today with the theme Encouraging Responsible Alcohol Behavior. Another tragic death on our roads had already been recorded, bringing this year's total to 3. In the eyes of the media, the identification of any month as an awareness month is, and let's be candid, not exactly earth-shattering news. But when Carter announced today that April is Alcohol Awareness Month, the shadow of last night's 3rd fatality of the year loomed large in the room as speakers expressed their condolences to the young man's family and friends. It is important to stress that the comments in no way reflected the cause of last night's death. During the conference, Premier Michael Dunkley led off with a set of startling statistics and another reason for concern in the realm of drinking called alcohol.
Data from the Government Forensic Laboratory confirms that during the period 2009 to 2014, alcohol or drugs were present in 75% of all road fatalities. This number is indeed alarming. As a community, we all know someone who is drinking too much alcohol. So let's take April as a month where we pay particular attention to addressing this major problem and carry it through the rest of the year. By addressing this concern, One's health can be improved by simply cutting back on the amount of alcohol we consume or making a commitment to stop drinking altogether. We also know that alcohol comes in the form of powder. Powdered alcohol, or palcohol, was recently approved for sale in some U.S. states, and manufacturers believe that this product will hit the retail shelves early this summer. I share the concerns of the many professionals that they have about the effects of this product and the effects it could have on underage drinking. Palcohol can easily be concealed, and it is difficult to detect its use.
But it was Junior Minister for Community and Cultural Affairs, Nandy Outerbridge, who added her share of grim statistics with a stark warning to her peers that it's now time to take stock of themselves and cease irresponsible drinking.
Becoming drunk and disorderly in public is now something that may follow you for the rest of your life. As we have seen in the last few years, bystanders film events that have taken place outside of Bermudian bars. I'm talking about alcohol-fueled brawls, people passed out on sidewalks, and so on. These photos or films can go viral and haunt you for the rest of your life. Is it really worth it? Bermudians also like to drink and drive. I know we young people think we are invincible on the roads, but occasionally trees and walls do jump out into the roads and they do hit us. But all too often we think, it won't be me. It seems we don't learn from others' mistakes. As others have identified, the deaths on our roads are a national health crisis. We average about a death a month, and over the last 10 years, well over 100 people have died on our roads. This is one of the highest road fatality rates in the world, and it must stop. Alcohol plays a part in many road accidents that result in property damage, injuries, sometimes serious lifelong handicaps, and all too often, death. It is incumbent on all of us to ensure that our friends don't drink and drive, take their keys, call them a cab, sleep on a sofa. It's not worth risking your life and others. We must be our brothers and sisters' keepers. We must change our culture so that it's not cool to be a drunken fool.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
With a number of major marine institutions raising global awareness about the dangers of ocean contamination, it has been refreshing for Bermuda's environmentalists to have the Race for Water expedition include Bermuda in its around-the-world voyage. The ultra-fast trimaran is now tied up at the Fairmont Hamilton Princess Marina, and Vsb News' Brian Darby was able to speak to Peter Sheriff, press officer for the race for the Water Foundation.
We are crossing all the oceans to raise awareness about plastic pollutions, which is obviously a very big problem nowadays.
Especially here.
You say so? We were in the Azores before, and it's terrible too. So I think there's a lot to do. So the first step is what we're doing this year, is to implement scientific protocols to make sure we are heading in the right direction to find solutions.
So you know where the gyres are, don't you, or the spinning great debris. So what more can you do than point those out?
We are implementing a protocol on the beaches to have precise ideas of what type of plastics and where they're coming from, and how, and second step, how to get rid of it if it's possible. We're not sure it's possible. So
you'll be testing our waters.
Yes.
And then from where did you go from here?
We are now staying a little while here because the team has to rest a little bit. The sea's been pretty rough the last days. And we are heading to New York, to United Nations, to tell a story about trying to do our best to give a drop in this ocean of awareness.
Yes. Awareness is a funny thing. People who care are aware, but people who don't care, you had to work very hard on. What's the trick?
I think there's two different ways to find a solution. The first one is to raise awareness among adults. I mean, people that are already programmed to work a certain way, so that's a tricky thing to do. The second thing is about telling the children to work differently. I think it might be more efficient. Of course, it's not going to happen in the next year. It's going to take a few years, but I think we have to work on both.
Coming up for its 12th annual classic run and walk this Sunday morning is the Bermuda International Eye Institute, whose owner, Dr. Leonard Tay Botchway, has this year chosen the historic town of St. George's as a site for the popular family event. The run and walk begins at the East End Primary School at 9 a.m. for the youngsters and 10:30 for the adults, and the proceeds this year will go to Age Concern. Race director Phil Martin explains that Dr. Tay Botchway sees the event as part of a healthy lifestyle.
You know, a problem with kind of diabetes, which affects eyes and all that kind of stuff. And so he's trying to promote that as well through this exercise. And then the other thing is he lives down in the east end of the island. And so St. George's is an area where we're trying to build something down there. So the idea is to try to get the event more popular. Easter Sunday was a tough one, and the race calendar kind of blocked us into that day. But we're just trying to build it around that and make things better. And so support the community, do the right things for people health-wise, and also give a little money back to charity.
So it's unusual. It moves around the island, and also it moves around the charities.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
How did you do last year?
Last year they had 200 and some odd people come out. I don't know the dollar they gave to charity, but a good day out by everybody, and the kids had a great time, which is important. We were trying to get the young kids out as well to get them involved and build a lifestyle for them as opposed to kind of a one-day event, So last year was a success, and we're trying to build on that this year to try to make it even larger. Of course, it means that we need people from the community to come out and support it, because putting on an event like this does cost some money, and again, the Eye Institute fronts a lot of this, so things like the T-shirts and some of the prizes. So they do their thing for the community, which is fantastic, and hopefully the community will come out and support it.
How do you register?
You go online to Race Day World and register. You can do that up until this Saturday, April 4th at 1 p.m. We're also doing late registration on the day. So you can come to the East End Primary School, which is where the race starts, and sign up on the day.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
The Somerset Trojans were last night crowned the Premier Division champions following their 3-0 win over the Southampton Rangers. At the Somerset Cricket Club, the Trojans took the lead on the half hour when Alton Trott found the back of the net. They would take that 1-0 lead into the break. 6 minutes into the second half, Jazz Rattery-Smith doubled the Somerset Trojans' lead, and then in the 78th minute, Rattery-Smith added his second of the game to make it 3-0 as the Somerset Trojans celebration started. The 3-0 defeat by Southampton Rangers leaves them in trouble as St. George's Colts now only need a win on Sunday against Robin Hood, and they stay up and Southampton Rangers get relegated. Somerset Trojans captain Trevin Mean reflected on what got them to the point of lifting the title.
Right, it doesn't even start from this season. It's starting from way back, when we first came up, 2011 or so. So, it's not even just this season, we just progressed. We progressed the whole time, you know what I mean? So it's we just felt ourselves getting better and better each season, and look what we got.
What were the nerves like in the change room before the game?
Oh, everybody was relaxed. We knew that if we would attack and defend first, then we knew that we had it in the bag. Just don't let them to score, and we got the shutout.
Now, obviously, you wanted to win the league. So many things going on in the Somerset area. Does this bring and galvanize the community itself?
Yeah, it definitely does. We've been through it all, everything, even losing Jahi Simmons, So we played that for him. We got that win, and you know, it feels good. It feels great bringing the whole community back together.
Somerset Cricket Club President Alfred Mabry said lifting the trophy is helping the community in a big way.
This is what the goal has been, to bring the community together, and we know that everybody loves a winner. And so we started out looking at the Cup Match trophy, and we brought her home, and now we've got the most coveted trophy in the League of Football. The League trophy shows that we're the most consistent team. We're the winners. The silver is back in the city.
In the other Premier Division matches last evening, Flanagan's Onions went down literally to the First Division with a 5-1 loss to the Dandytown Hornets. At BAA Field, the Dandytown Hornets got 2 goals from Angelo Simmons and 2 from Tamiko Wilson. Clay Darrow added the other. Marquez Lords scored the lone goal for the Flanagan's Onions. At the Devonshire Recreation Club, the North Village Rams made their stay in the Premier Division safe with a 5-1 victory over the Devonshire Cougars. Keishan Bean scored a hat-trick to lead the North Village Rams to victory, while Dimitri Daniels and Pierre Smith added a goal each. Micah Battersby scored the lone goal for the Devonshire Cougars. Continental and elite amateur cyclists teamed together in California to shake the cobwebs loose at a 3-day San Dimas stage cycle racing. Dominic Mayo saw action for the first time while representing Ride with Randall team. The event started with a mountain time trial. Mayo finished 141st, crossed the line in the time of 19:37.17. Some 4:50.58 behind the stage winner, who is the U.S. Elite Road Champion, Emerson Orente. Mayo did not finish the second stage, which was the road race, and he did not start the Grand Prix third stage. Bermuda's Flora Duffy competed in the first Spar Women's 10K Challenge in Cape Town, South Africa. Duffy, who has excelled in the sport of exterior racing, recently tried her hand in a road race, and she finished in the top 10. On the final day of the 2015 CIS Track and Field Championships, Dalhousie University added 2 silver and a bronze medal to bring their medal haul to 4 during the competition that was held at the University of Windsor. Chaz Smith medaled for the second time in his 2-year career at Dalhousie, grabbing a bronze medal in the men's triple jump. Smith won the bronze with a leap of 14.85 meters, finishing behind Aaron Hernandez, who claimed the gold with a best leap of 15.33 meters, and Jordan Bruce, also from Dalhousie, finished second, leaping 14.91 meters. Alex Cooper has been named the Southern Athletics Association Men's Tennis Player of the Week based on wins over 2 ranked teams. Cooper's 2 wins led Swanee with a 4-0 record to a 5-4 win over 38th-ranked Christopher Newport University and a 6-3 win over 37th-ranked Washington and Lee University. I'm Earl Basden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Thursday, April the 2nd, it will be partly cloudy with 1 or 2 early morning showers. Winds will be northerly moderate, decreasing northeasterly light to moderate in the afternoon, becoming east-northeasterly light in the evening. We're expecting a high near 67 and a low near 60. This weather forecast is a courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thanks for watching Vsb News Online for Wednesday, April the 1st. I'm Charles Webb, and again, happy April Fool's Day.